Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I have no idea when you are watching this, but I'm hoping you're having a great day. Michael Zuber with One Rental at a Time, and I have my good friend Dion from Dion Talk with me. How you doing, Dion?
Howdy, Mark. Happy to be back.
Awesome, man. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the activity in the Facebook group. And I just want to first applaud you, congratulate you, recognize you for closing a deal, closing it a couple of days early. Man, you got a duplex in this hot market. Congratulations.
That is actually the first time I think I've ever closed early. That is not normal. And it was a couple days, but normally there's some delay.
Yeah, yeah. They wanted that deal done in May. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So what I thought we would do is we just kind of talk about the deal a little bit, right? Lots of people out there think the market is crazy hot. There are no deals. Lots of people think you can't find deals on the MLS. As you know, my course and Facebook group is entirely about focus and daily execution. And I'm guessing you got this deal because of focus and daily execution, but why don't you tell us?
So I tried to wait to talk about it until it actually closed because there's a lot of slips between a lip and a cup and things can fall apart sometimes.
Sure.
But it actually closed. We signed yesterday. Actually, this time they gave me a nice packet for my closing documents. But it's all electronic too. So I found the property on the MLS. So I've never found or seen an off-market deal, and it's traditional lending. I saved up the down payment. I will probably be doing another house hack within the next few months. So I'll have a property with a lower down payment. And when I talk about the math on things like this, it still kind of blows me away because my mind is still stuck in the single parent with 3 kids making $17 an hour mode. And I'm making more money now, but the cash flow from the rental properties allows me to save 100% of what I make from work. So saving up a down payment for this, I did 20% down. So the down payment was about just under 80,000 because the property was 400,000 and negotiated 2,500 off because of some really small repairs. I mean, the roof is 5 years old. Everything else in there worked. There was some tiny things that need work. But it never hurts to ask. So I asked for 5,000 off. They came back with 2,500. It's already occupied. That seems to confuse some people. A lot of investors say, I want my place empty so I can sell it, or I want to buy an empty place because I don't want to deal with tenants that are already living there. And part of it is because I'm really lazy. I don't have to find a tenant, screen a tenant, place a tenant, do a rehab, fix anything major. The tenants are already in place. And I've shared this in the Real Estate Rookie group. I shared this in the One Rental at a Time Facebook group. And I will be doing a deal deep delve on one of my videos, which apparently will just be me because my Zoom is not working for me to record today. If you run the numbers with the current rents, it doesn't look like that good of a deal.
Okay.
It looks like it gets somewhere between 3 to 5% cash on cash return.
Okay.
And 2-bedroom units in the area, the rents are, a little better than where it's at, but this has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms on each side. So the area average rents are almost 1,500. And right now they're at about 1,100.
Ooh.
So a few people in the Real Estate Rookie group who are here in my local area say, I saw that on the MLS and I passed on it because the return was really bad. And it is. But knowing your market is important. And that's one of the reasons why I focus on just 2 counties, because I couldn't know this data about several different places.
Exactly.
This duplex is in a small town, which seems very rural. I have one property about 11 miles away from here, but it's on the other side of a military base from where the big cities are. So these units are usually rented to military families from places like Texas or Kansas, outside of the big cities. And they're looking to live right next to the base, but not be in a city. So I will use the binder method. And if rents are just around 1,500, I ran the numbers at 1,400. So I'll be lower than area average, keep tenants with no turnover or less turnover. And then it turns my return to a little bit over 10%, which is my target goal. My original estimate was 8%. And now that I'm running the numbers, I got my insurance back. The return was not so great when the insurance was estimated at $1,100 a year, but I got a policy for $410 a year. Same policy, same coverage, just shopped around until I got it. The interest rate that I was offered from the first bank was 4.25. And I took that once I was under contract. I took that to another lender who beat it by a little bit. I took it back to the first one to give them a fair shot at keeping my business. They beat that by a little bit, and I went back to Fairway Mortgage, who ended up winning it in the end with a 3.65 without having to pay down any points or anything. So everybody says that's so much work, and it was maybe 5 emails and 1 text to save tens of thousands of dollars over 30 years.
Yeah, 4.25 to 3.65, may not sound like a lot, but 60 basis points over 30 years on $300,000, 320 grand. That's new car money right there. That's real money.
Well, it's definitely cash flow, and that helped get the return from that 8%, which I probably would have still went through with the deal on, to that over 10%, where I'm like, that's my base hit that I want. It's not super sexy. It's not a home run, but boring is really sexy to me when it comes to investing. I just keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, there's so much in that I just want to hit again because people need to hear it. One is, again, the first step of my course, and I always talk about, is focus. What did you talk about? I focus on 2 counties. Why do you focus on 2 counties? Because you can't know all the ins and outs and the variables and the subtleties of on this side of the military base versus that side of the military base. It's just, and the subtleties of what is a 2-bedroom rent for versus a 2-bedroom, 2-bath rent for, and, just all of these extra things, plus the ability to follow up and follow through on variables that will cost money, right? A $1,100 insurance policy now down to $400 is $50 a month savings, quickly. Then you get a lower interest rate. It's another $75 a month. It's all falls to the bottom line. So doing the work, emails, follow through, you're essentially running a playbook every time. It's just, you call it lazy, I call it efficient process. Just you're running it over and over and over again.
It has to be systematized for me because I work 50 to 60 hours a week running a truck driving school. I run a nonprofit that does job placement assistance. I'm self-managing what was a 14-unit portfolio that's now 16. I actually call this property my Sweet 16.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the market 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, before I made this offer, properties like this would have several offers. Some would be cash above asking, waiving contingencies. It was, the asking price was $400,000. I offered $400,000. I had an inspection and an appraisal clause. It was a regular, I think I did $5,000 down earnest money. So I didn't even do a big earnest money. If it was a really, really good home run looking deal, I might have done $20,000 or $30,000 in earnest to get more attention from the seller.
Done that. Yep.
But there were no other offers for a couple of days. So it's not like there's so much more. I almost said that would be a mistake. There is more inventory hitting the market to where the investors are more spread out now, and they don't pile on 10 to 20 offers on a property in the first day. So that's where it came doing the work. I made the offer in the middle of the week on I think it was Wednesday. Wasn't accepted until Friday night, but it was accepted before the weekend. I remember that. Yeah,
that's key. Again, doing the work every day. You brought this up, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, about writing offers on deals that came up on a Tuesday or a Thursday. And I actually had to go back and look because I just don't remember. But yeah, a lot of those deals I got over the years were, kind of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday listings. When they come out on the weekend, they just get more eyeballs. And what I want to tell a lot of kind of new investors out here is you need to look every day. It just takes you 10 or 20 minutes. Once you systematize it, you get the searches set up. Do yourself a favor, find or create the time. Get up a little earlier, watch one less TV show. You can change your financial future by looking every day. If you're just doing 4 hours on Saturday or 4 hours on Sunday, or heaven forbid, 4 hours on each, you're missing out on 60, 70% of the deals because it's just more competitive.
So in the beginning, a lot of investors may not have the addiction that I have, where they're thinking, if I invest in real estate, I can reach financial freedom one day. But I invested in real estate and reached financial freedom, and I didn't start from the best position. So to me, the email that comes in with the auto search is like a scratch ticket.
Yes.
The next email could be the winning ticket. So I wouldn't want to wait until the weekend to look at a bunch of them. I want to look every day. And some days there's only 4 or 5 to look at, but some days there's 15.
And yeah, and I
And
think that
I mean,
that
it takes,
analogy holds, because sometimes a lot of tickets don't go anywhere. But I think you're right. I've always looked at it as that's just I'm one step closer to the deal of the year. That's what I've always told myself every day. You know, didn't get one today. Didn't get one today. Didn't get maybe nope. Didn't get that one. Didn't get that one. Didn't get that one. Oh, look at that. And you know, I've gone months, and every day I'm just as excited to look at the scratch ticket as you said. That's a great analogy.
yeah. And the thing that's really cool to me about closing on a deal like this is for years, people have been screaming that there's a crash coming or even a correction. And it would be great if one happened for investors because you get to buy something on sale. But as an investor, some friends have said, what happens if property prices drop? You know, $400,000 for a duplex is a lot more than you were paying before, and interest rates are better now. You know, I was paying 3.25 or so when they were 6%. So my payment's not really that much different. But if property values do correct, that doesn't really impact rent income. I bought this property and the numbers make sense with the rents where they're at. So if property values come down, that isn't going to impact me. And that's why I think if there's investors who are waiting to buy because you want prices to come down, you are going to miss out on months or years of cash flow, appreciation, principal pay down, tax benefits. I think almost every investor thinks, I wish I'd done this 10 years ago. Well, right now is your 10 years ago in the future.
Yeah, I hate to tell you. I mean, again, I've been doing this 20 years. I saw the run up last time. I got out in time. I profited from the crash. Believe me, I could have millions of dollars at my disposal to buy discounted property again. It's not coming. I'm not going to be able to buy Fresno real estate at a 70% discount. It's not coming. For all of you that are waiting on the sidelines telling yourself that, a lot of yourself said that last time, and then you got scared when Bear Stearns went out and Countrywide went under and IndyMac went under and Washington Mutual, and you all got freaked out. And I was buying hand over fist because I did the work every day. And we just don't have the fundamental setup this time to have a crash. We may have a slowdown if we go from 14 to now 11, or we go from 11 to 6% appreciation. That's not a crash. 6% on top of 20% appreciation still feels really good.
I have a video coming out today on how I buy rental properties without spending any money. And here's the 30-second Cliff Notes version. I'm buying this duplex, right? It's $400,000. I talked about how much was the down payment, and the closing cost is a little over $80,000. I'm not spending anything. I took that money from the bank and I put it into a property. That money is still there. It's still mine. I can do a cash out refinance, sell the property, take out a HELOC. And then you just mentioned last year it was ridiculous. We had a 15% property appreciation in most markets. And on average, it's usually 3.5%. But if we drop down to 10, people will saying, oh, it's terrible. Things are going bad. And that's still 10% appreciation. So if I hold this property for a year or two, that will cover the selling costs if I ever had to sell it. So for the investors that have some money sitting in a bank thinking, I'm going to wait for the dip or wait for the correction to buy real estate, buying real estate now, it's still like buying it without spending any money because you're just moving those funds into the property from the bank. There's no reason to wait.
Yeah. And if the thing, again, as someone who cannot get 30-year money with a 3 on it, I can't get that stuff. I can promise you one thing. Any investor who misses the opportunity to do that today is an idiot. You've got to go get that 3% money.
I have had one friend tell me, I wouldn't want to be in your position. I wouldn't want to be that successful because I would never want to pay that much in taxes. And it was a beautiful way of trying to think of seeing the world as a way of, why would you want to invest now when you can make so much money because you're going to end up paying taxes in the future?
Wow. That's Okay. All right. That's bizarre. Okay.
So that's when you're talking about investors not taking action now.
Yeah.
It seems like people will find any kind of reason to justify why they didn't invest last
Yeah.
year or this week.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. Well, we're going to have another topic that's going to be equally fun. But I just want to congratulate you one more time. Sweet 16, 16th door. Congratulations on the market. Got, paid list, negotiated 10% or more, cash on cash. You're proving it works, man. Focus and daily execution. Thanks, Dion.
Thank you, Mike.